Hey, good morning everybody. I'm Captn Chris, and welcome aboard the Pleasure House Oyster Farm Oyster Tour, I guess it would be. This is the tasting tour. We've been commercial fishing family for about 7 generations, literally back to 1715. You know, the passion here, you know, at the end of the day, I'm probably a horrible business person because my model should be all about making money. It's not. It's about making the river better for my 3 sons. That's the whole reason we're doing this. 1607, the 3 ships came across. They landed at Cape Henry, and you know, they've been at sea for about 144 days. And the first meal they had was oysters. They came upon a group of Indians roasting oysters on the beach.
We're rolling.
Open up this. As you see, these slots, and each slot is back. So we sell to basically 7 or 8 restaurants.
Okay.
We take them live oysters on one day, and then we go back and get them the dead to shell. We recycle 100% of our shell.
Okay.
The reason we do that is because oysters, when they're at larval stage, they're drifting around. And then they fall out of solution and they want to strike on something. That's an Old Bay term, strike, oyster strike. And when they strike on usually themselves. So here we have a shell of a dead oyster. And then what happened, these 2 grew on it. Not only that, a 3rd one that died. But these 2 have grown on that shell and they're still growing. And then of course these are laying around the beach here at the farm, like this cluster. Here's another cluster growing on a mussel shell. But look at that, so there's 1, these are dead. This one's live, this one's live, this one's live. So 1, 2, 3, 4 live, 2 dead. Yeah, but it's just the way things work. So this is a cluster like you might see on the Eastern Shore or South Carolina or St. Augustine, Florida. This is how they would grow in the wild. So this product would be great for shucking and for an oyster roast. And the restaurants I deal with, they want a single oyster. You know, they want individuals.
Right.
It's a you know, more
gourmet
dainty experience.
Yeah.
You know, you're buying a dozen. So these oysters here, 2016, 2017 vintage. They'll be coming online this fall.
Just like a wine.
So, yeah, just like a wine. I keep track. I've got you know the cages. Some of them are actually tagged and labeled, and then I have my farm set up in sections like you would a winery or any other farm. This is the 3-inch. These are 1-inch holes. So if you lay it up there, you see it's actually about 3 1/4. But this is perfection. The cup, right? You got the shape, the encyclopedia. When you open it up and you look at for oyster, this is what you see. This is what everybody wants. So we clean it up here a little bit. And we got our trusty toadfish knife. That's a cool story. Get into that later. And like any good Virginian, multi-generational, I go in through the side. No hinge shucking.
Wow, nice.
And fresh from the water. Pop that open and we dress it up a little bit because I cut it a little bit there. Get that, like that, nice bubble. We want to do a proper tasting right out of the gate.
Sure.
So 6 flavors to the oyster.
Okay.
First we're going to try the bouquet. So smell the oyster. You're surrounded by the bouquet right now, so you're not really going to smell it strong because this is it. The bouquet of the oyster is where it comes from. So next I want you to sip the liquor, the oyster liqueur. Introduce some air, you know, I mean really get into it. There you go. Now let that, so that's going to be a hint. That's going to hint at what the oyster flavor is. It's definitely slim. Now take it back, take the whole oyster, chew through it, 3 flavors, the front, the body, the finish. Okay? And then the 6th and final flavor is the marriage of the wine and beer. Of course we get that next time. But so go ahead, chew through it. Let's see what you take. Alright, so we're going to finish with a wild. So 99% of my harvest is aquaculture. We save wild for special occasions. You know, this is the grail. This is what we're trying to recreate through aquaculture until we can get them back to a sustainable level. And you'll notice there's 2 surprises in here. No, king crab. So if you notice, it's got a little bit more color to the gills, but then liquids in there. Have you ever eaten the pea crab?
No, I've seen them. I've been afraid to eat them.
Oh, you gotta eat the pea crab. That's good luck. I mean, this is your whole 2018 is gonna change with this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have the pea crab.
You gonna eat the pea crab? He's gonna eat the oyster?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold your hand
What's
out.
it taste like?
It's just crunchy. It tastes like the oyster. Just crunch, put it in your mouth and chew it. This just sits on that side. Doesn't it look? See how the gills have a little bit?
Tell us about you. Tell us about a memory spending with your granddad on the water when you were a little boy.
Oh yeah, so fishing for spot, and so every fall, my dad and my granddad would set nets right outside the inlet here for a fish that is a real popular fish in the south called a spot. It's a very oily fish. It's only gets about this big, but they used to corn them. They'd salt them, and my granddad would salt them. But every fall they would fish for the spot because that's what people did for hundreds of years. And it's a really bountiful fishery. And so people would corn them, salt them for the winter. And but they were fishing for them, and my mom drove me down to meet them on the beach that evening because they had just set the nets. My dad and my granddad would always pull up on the beach and either build a little campfire or they would have dinner, which mostly consisted of Pepsi Cola and beanie weenies and a lot of meat. And so I thought that was the coolest thing, to meet them down on the beach as they were pulling their nets, and then I was allowed to ride out with them, and they would lift the net and check it. Oh, there's enough fish, we'll pull it. They would have to run me back in because it would take a couple hours for them to pull.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a really fun memory.
That's awesome.
It's VirginiaOysterTrail.com. So it's a collection of all the people who support oyster farming, oyster tours, the wineries that have oyster, any oyster, all the oyster events, especially in the fall. So we're headed in. Another beautiful day in Virginia Beach. Oysters for breakfast. Every day's a holiday. Every meal's a